Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. These are recorded live Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to catch the show live and enjoy the show with us as it is happening. Otherwise, you can just keep on watching these edited versions down. That's good. Perfectly fine. But you can catch the show live on multiple different streaming platforms. Today we have privacy, then security, then business, and then SillyVille. A little bit shorter than we've been doing lately, and I hope that that is okay with everyone. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right on in. This one was a last-minute addition. It came up on my radar, and then when I finally tried a chance to watch it, I said, well, we got to throw this in privacy, because there are, as much as we spend a lot of time beating up on all of these technologies and whatnot, there are certainly positive uses of some of these internet-connected items, and we have to keep this in mind cognitively and think, okay, is there a way I can do this without giving the data to a big tech company like Amazon? There are, but sometimes I think we just need to get better tech competency. I know everyone's like, this is the most tech-connected world. Yeah, but it's full of a bunch of tech ignoramuses who do nothing more than plug and play with the big tech corporations, and that gets dangerous. But there's times that it can actually save lives. So in this case here from Fox News, a 5-year-old boy, and also there was a 5-year-old girl with him as well. The idiot bus driver, who I hope gets fired and then flogged in the street, lets these two 5-year-olds off. It is the 5-year-old son of a mother and the 5-year-old daughter of her boyfriend. And they are let off by the school bus driver at the complete wrong place in Oklahoma in 105-degree heat, and they don't know where they are. And so what they do is they just start knocking on doorbells, and it just turns out that one of the people happens to have a Ring camera.
Would you help me find my mommy?
So the kid doesn't really know what to do, and so he just goes up and he's just knocking on doors. And, nobody was home in the neighborhood, but one of the people had a Ring camera. And because of the Ring camera, the guy was at work, but he gets a notification. He sees this little 5-year-old boy. Now, mind you, this is Oklahoma, and it is 105 degrees when this occurred. And the parents are at the bus stop. The bus was an hour late dropping the kids off, and then their two 5-year-old children do not get off the bus. The driver's like, I don't know where they are. And an older kid who was on the bus ended up telling the parents that they were dropped off at a previous stop, but didn't know exactly where. And the bus driver had no idea either. So they ended up, what happens then is the guy who owns the camera, I can't remember if he called, I think he left work and drove out to where the bus stop is supposed to be, finds the parents and says that he saw the kids out on his Ring doorbell. And so they go out and find them, and they end up finding the kids. Just a few houses down from the owner of the Ring doorbell. There's a part 2. Of course, all of the articles are linked down below, so you can watch this whole 2-minute video here on I guess it's a TikTok video posted on Twitter. And then there's a part 2 down here as well. Definitely worth watching and thinking as we are bashing some of the internet connected technologies. There are positive uses. We have to keep cognizant of that. But then the question becomes, how can we utilize these technologies without giving all this data to big tech companies? And it is possible. Of course, this is the news program. It's a little bit beyond the purview of what we're doing. Although I personally have I had these types of cameras set up when I had a house and apartments. I actually did have cameras set up that I could have access and view that were not connected to big tech. So it's possible. But that is certainly a good thing. And I did have a second good news article. I kicked that one out for time. Brief summary: Australia is not requiring adult websites to verify age because they're saying we have too much data is flowing around on the internet about people anyway. We just don't need one more thing. And if you want to go and, play with some sausages or something, have at it, So I kicked that out for time. You can look that up. if it so interests you. But now we get into getting into the weird and more dystopian type, privacy type news. So a free dating app, Cosmic, uses personality quizzes to make a profile for you. So instead of going on to the site and just answering a bunch of questions and things like that, it's going to ask you a whole lot of kind of open-ended questions, and you give it a lot of essays. And then presumably it's probably using AI to sort those in and build your profile from you based on how you answer those questions. Now, what type of profile you're going to get in our modern world of idiocracy is completely unknown to me, but nevertheless, at least the thing is certainly there. So it's available to the public. Cosmic is the first product to debut from the startup Friendly Apps, founded by longtime engineer product designer Michael Saman, backed by $3 million in seed funding. The developer has been building apps since he was young and experienced. He documented in his book App Kid, which helped him land roles at Facebook, Google, Roblox, and recently Twitter, or X, or the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, or I don't know, whatever we're calling it this week, who knows. But basically, you get in there and you answer some basic things, and then you do some essays, and then it's going to allegedly match you up based on that. No cost, no subscriptions, no BS. Yeah, just a whole ton of data harvesting. Yeah, so how's it how's he got monetized, we wonder? The question, the founder plans to figure that out later on after he determines this model even works. Well, I'll tell you, that model does work. That's exactly what Facebook's model was, and we can see where that has gotten us. So I'd probably stay away from the Cosmic dating app personally, but I don't know. Are there really any other options in the event you are looking for the digital get down? Sorry for that bad NSYNC reference. I think I just dated myself. Oh, did I just say that at the end of a dating app thing? Oh, I dated. Boo! I'm going to look for the cat's going to grab me with a hook and pull me away. All right. If you remember probably a year or two ago, and this showed up when the government was all about banning TikTok, and then all of a sudden TikTok meets with the Department of Justice, and all of a sudden TikTok was okay again, right? And I said, yeah, they're actually making a deal for data sharing. Pinned it. I believe it or not, I have a very good track record for calling the truth. Some people are saying, we need to go with what is actually proven to happen, not what we suspect is happening. No, I'm not really going to wait for proof for some of these things. Report the Biden admin tried to force TikTok to let the U.S. government spy on users and moderate content. There's, of course, Biden sniffing TikTok because he sniffs everything he likes. I'm wondering if that little white baggie was his. I don't know. So then remember how everyone stopped talking about it once Biden got into the White House? They may have assumed it's because Biden's so friendly with China, or should we say China? And doesn't really care if it spies on Americans. Well, the thing is that he wanted to get on the spy action too. Here is some of the draft agreement. The draft agreement, as is being negotiated at this time, would give the government agencies like the DOJ or DOD authority to examine TikTok's U.S. facilities, records, equipment, and servers with minimal or no notice, block changes to the app's U.S. terms of service, moderation policies, or privacy policy, veto the hiring of any executive involved in leading TikTok's U.S. data security organization, order TikTok and ByteDance to pay for and subject themselves to various audits, assessments, and other reports on the security of TikTok's common functions, and in some circumstances require ByteDance to temporarily stop TikTok functioning if they want to. But while there is bipartisan concern about the influence of China-controlled TikTok on American citizens, past proposals in the platform have been characterized on many observers as little more than a Patriot Act-style power grab, giving the federal government unprecedented authority over social media platforms and its users. And there was actually another one. Biden admin actually said this, all right? Why ban TikTok when you can just use it to control Americans? Now, I don't know if the dementia patient in chief said that or the people up above the strings causing the monkey to dance happened to say that. But nevertheless, we got some... you see, guys, TikTok is bad, okay? Just the privacy stuff. And on to our feature story, My Kids Hate Me. You're all wondering why. A moment that changed me. I stopped posting funny stories about my daughter and she began to trust me again. Kind of shocking, okay? We are in an age now. So way back when I actually had a Facebook account, which was only, I think, maybe a year or two after the Zuck had opened it up to the whole world rather than just EDU addresses, I was mentoring a kid who at the time was 11. And he got a Facebook account. And so just to keep an eye on what him and his friends were doing, I got a Facebook account. And his parents didn't really monitor what he was doing. And so I talked to him about the dangers and he let me have the password. And for a good number of years, well, at least until he started doing, so he started like having more friends and gaining independence as a teenager. He actually let me log in there and see what he's up to. And he didn't really care. He really wasn't doing a lot. Sometimes he'd like, hey, can you log into Facebook and feed the fish? And he had like that fish tank thing going on, whatever, go in there and feed the fish. But he was 11 at the time. Now, that was a long time ago. That kid is an adult and he's got children. Okay. I am older than I actually look, although the beard does age me a little bit more. But when I shave it off, I actually am older than I look. That generation is now the ones with all the social media accounts. They grew up on social media. They had it for their whole life. And so they don't even think twice about posting things about their children. And as their children start moving into the age of consciousness, they'll start looking around this stuff going, I don't really want this. Because it's like, I don't have a decent relationship with my mother. And a lot of, not the only reason, but a lot of the reason why is because she tends to gossip. And if I tell her something exciting in my life, she just immediately turns around, calls everybody she knows and tells them. It's like, I don't want you to do that. But she doesn't understand what boundaries are. And so I have to establish very deep and precedented boundaries to make sure she doesn't do that kind of stuff. And so the thing is that these parents on social media do not think twice about posting all the things about their kids on the internet. And it's starting to cause serious problems for kids that don't want to be on there. In fact, one of the earlier references to this in pop culture was actually in the second edition of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie, in Roderick Rules. The mother has a column in the newspaper and Greg's like, would you stop writing about me? Oh, but you'll appreciate it. It's like, no, is your kid says stop writing about me in a public forum and but you are absolutely in the wrong as the parent. You are in the wrong. The kid said, don't do that. And you have to respect that. And so that's really what is going on here. So for 7 years, I was a compulsive sharent, chronicling my daughter's life on social media. Then she told me how much she hated it. All right. And so I got to find where that one spot was. I read a story about the news as a teenager. I said, with the forced casualist parents deploy in the hope that their kids will open up to them. She was talking about her parents posting things from her life on Facebook and how she felt about it. I didn't tell her that the 18-year-old Austrian had felt so uncomfortable about the hundreds of photos posted by her parents that she sued them for violating her right to personal life. I didn't like it when you were doing the funny conversations on Facebook. She said, as a matter of factly, she meant my beloved dialogues, the ones I had posted for 7 years. Everyone had adored them, given thumbs up, asked for more. I even bound them in a book when she had looked through laughing. Okay, I held my tongue, noticed that the effort it took to not defend herself, to defend myself. She told me about the times her trust had been betrayed, occasions she asked me not to share, and I did anyway. The moment she was surprised or angered when she found out I had posted things without her knowledge. All the times strangers greeted her like an old friend, or when I deprived her of the ability to decide her own boundaries, or she felt exposed. All right. And this is really the danger. This is such a good read. I encourage you to do it. But the overarching principle is, if you are a parent, do not post things on any social media about your kids. without them completely knowing. And honestly, I say until they're like 13, they don't even have the capacity to know. So you shouldn't do it for the younger kids anyway. In addition to all the crazy stuff. There was a quote in here somewhere. It's probably near the top, but yeah, this is in the second paragraph. This is really the one that really struck a chord as I read this. While I was writing a book about the digital afterlives, though, I began thinking about how our online identities are shaped from our first moments, often by other people. Unease descended, and I took my then 9-year-old daughter for lunch and asked if we could have a conversation. "You're not posting it, are you?" she replied. Sometimes I only had to take my phone from my bag to elicit the response. Her reflex reaction to my question was the reason I wanted to talk. Okay, so this girl's like, the one mother's like, "I want to talk. Can we talk?" The daughter's like, she does not want to talk to her kids because she is worried that or her parents, because she's worried that her mother is going to post it online. Because her mother is a narcissist. Her mother is a person who has to seek her own validation through her daughter's life. She has to seek her own validation through all of these other things in building up this perfect little life. The mommy blogger that the child never consented. So if you're doing this kind of stuff, you really need to stop and pause right now. Okay? You start taking pictures. I got news for you. If I had kids, my mother would not be allowed to take pictures of the kids. Like, no pictures at all. Because I know those pictures are going to find their way accidentally on Facebook. And that's a big problem. It's like, I'm going to post all these pictures on Facebook. No. It's one thing if you have a small handful of people and you might email a few pictures to a few very close friends. That's cool. But throwing them up there, because there's too many ramifications and the average person just does not understand it. So recognize if you do post a lot of things involving kids and your kids don't have a good relationship with you, this is probably the reason why. So think about that. Well, we use affiliates to help. We don't like doing sponsorships, just affiliates. And today we are highlighting ProWritingAid. I believe we're at 25. It looks like we're still at 20% discount. There's some more discounts going on ProWritingAid. TLM.li/PWA. ProWritingAid is a very good, always been privacy focused AI grammar editing tool. You can set the different writing styles that you're doing. And I run my books through this before I send them out for publishing. Before I send them out, like I'll do my own edits. I'll run them through this. We'll do a few other edits and a few other editors and things like that. But this does catch a lot of the things. I can go in there and I can specify what type of book it is. So my publishing group just published a children's book, for example. And I was able to go into ProWritingAid and say, hey, this is a children's book for about this age range. Put it in there and it caught some things, and then I'll go in and do like science fiction for the stories we're doing right now for you guys on the supporter network, which, by the way, the next story is awesome. I can't wait for you guys to see it, which will be in about 15 days or so. We'll get that up. But you can get in there and tell it what type of grammar you're trying to do. They do have a monthly billing, they do have a yearly billing, and they do have a lifetime payment if you'd like to buy it once. And there is actually, there's some plugins for LibreOffice, Google Docs, Microsoft Office. Unfortunately, the LibreOffice ones I don't believe work on Linux unless they've changed something in the last couple years. I personally just log in on the online account, paste the stuff in, and then translate things back. But the TLM.li/PWA is a great place where you can go and get some grammar checking done on your writing. With that, let's head on over to security news. First up in security news, anybody learning multiple language with DuoLingo, be aware your stuff was hacked. It wasn't just hacked, it was hacked and then released on a hacking forum. How wonderful. 2.6 million DuoLingo users was leaked on a hacking forum, allowing threat actors to conduct targeted phishing acts against the exposed information. One of the largest language learning sites with over 74 million monthly users worldwide. January 2023, someone was selling the scraped data of 2.6 million users on the now shut down Breach hacking forum for $1,500. The data was a mixture of public login, real names, non-public information, including email addresses, internal information related to the service. Real names and login name were publicly available as part of their profile. Email addresses are more concerning as they are allowed to be used in the phishing stuff. So you should have probably received a notice about this if you are a DuoLingo user, but just be aware that a lot of data about you has leaked out online. The Cisco VPN routers are under serious attack, particularly those without multi-factor authentication. I imagine they all are. It's just the MFA in this particular type of attack is sufficient enough to ward off the attackers for now, at least. But if you are not using multi-factor authentication, then your AI, the malware, the breach is possibly going to affect you. So Aurora says, I'm just going to say it, if you have a Cisco VPN with no multi-factor authentication, you may get a surprise knock from the ransomware soon. Yay! So look at your AD auth logs 4624-4625 from a win-star machine in your VPN range. If you have a hit, may the IR gods help you. There you go. So just be aware if you do have one of these Cisco routers, take it offline immediately, turn on multi-factor authentication of some form or another. So those are the things that you can do. Next up, it's so fitting that I have crossed the border into Ohio. OhioHistory Connection. So I don't even know what OhioHistory Connection is, but there's actually a branch of it that I'm going to be passing by here soon. So, okay. But they had a breach about information. So notification letters were emailed on August 23rd to all individuals impacted by the breach. Early July, cybercriminals executed a ransomware attack upon the internal data servers at OHC, effectively encrypting and holding our data hostage. The group also demanded OHC pay a ransom in the millions of dollars in order to avoid the release of the data to the public. They made an offer to the cybercriminals to prevent the release. On August 7th, the criminals rejected the offer. The personal information of certain stakeholders may now be accessible to those who may be looking for it. So in most cases, ransomware is spread through phishing emails. They said no credit card information was accessed. Why is this the first thing they jump to? I mean, that's the easiest thing to change. Names, addresses, social security numbers of current and former OHC employees from 2009 to 2023 could have been accessed. Cybercriminals may have gained access to W-9 reports and other records revealing names and personal social security numbers of vendors who contracted to provide services for OHC. They may have gained access to images of checks provided to OHC by someone. So basically, they may not have gotten your credit card number, but they have gotten your banking information, your routing information, your social security, your W-9, which might have other information like how many dependents. Ooh, let's look at the dependents that we have and use these for AI ransomware. Call out that Grammy script. So all sorts of bad stuff. Now, this is going from 2009, okay? So we are talking over 15 years ago, or just about 15 years ago. I have a fun proposal. Maybe someone in government can think about proposing this. If somebody stops working at your company, you have 6 months to get all of their information off of the internet connected services. Now, it's one thing if you might need to have stuff on some form of internet connected services one way or the other for something in an active contract, active employment situation. But once that employee is out, now companies need to retain data for a number of years, but that data can be in cold storage, and that data should be in cold storage. It should not be just 2009 stuff, should not be meandering freely on your web servers to be stolen by hackers. So I think 6 months after you're no longer employed, 6 months after you're no longer doing business, 6 months after anything, all of that stuff should be mandated, removed from any form of internet-connected devices, stored exclusively on some form of firewall or cold storage that's not readily accessible. So they can go get the data if they need to. It's going to prevent this type of attack. It's going to prevent this type of breach. Because it is unacceptable that an employee who quit your company 15 years ago still has to be aware of any possible data breaches, because you're just storing all this stuff willy-nilly for the last 15 years. What are you doing? That's something that should be done. So I don't know. Leaseweb, this is another cloud infrastructure company. Leaseweb is restoring critical systems after the security breach. Of course, we talked, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, about, was it Nordic Cloud, I think? That they basically said, yeah, people stole everything, they killed the services, and yeah, we're not going to bother bringing it back. Like, you've lost your data. Sorry, sucker. Hope you weren't relying on us for your cloud backup storage. All right. Well, Leaseweb did a much better job of mitigation. They recognized something was in there. So the Nordic Cloud didn't even know anything was in there until something was wrong. Their system went bad when they took it off of their firewalled system to migrate data in a clear open internet environment, and that's when the malware struck. These guys, they spotted the system, they shut down the sector immediately, mitigated all the possible damage, and they actually had further backups. So these guys actually, they had a little bit of downtime on their service, but they did not have as drastic of a circumstance that Nordic Cloud did. So these guys at least did it right. So if you're looking for a new cloud service, hey, at least these guys know a little bit more about securing all of the data than something like Nordic Cloud or whatever else. So that's certainly something to keep in mind. So there's some positive. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM. You can jump on over there. Of course, right now, what our Patreons are getting, of course, you can participate in the Thursday show. We also have a Hangout that's offline after that. So if you want to hang out and chat for a little while, you can always use that link once we go off of the streaming services. We still hang out for about a half hour, 45 minutes later, so anyone is welcome to jump up there. Also, we are doing exclusive science fiction stories, including audiobooks. So our first story went out last week, and it is an excellent story about the problems that we have with technology in vehicles. We looked at some of the policies and some of the things that companies are trying to do regarding data collection in vehicles. The short stories about possible future of these and an exclusive video about the real technologies behind this is available in addition to an audiobook. And just a reminder, if you wanted the audiobook and you have not grabbed it yet, the audiobook download expires September 15th. It will be on Patreon, and it will be on all of the other platforms as well. So Patreon, Subscribestar, Locals, Think Life Media, you can get it on all of those. I got to say, though, the story that's going to come out this week, I'm not going to unveil any more information about it. It is one of the best stories I think I've written. I'm not sure how I'm actually going to top it, but it is really fascinating. I just finished it yesterday, and so we're going to be doing some editing for a couple weeks. Now, at the end of the year, probably like early next summer, we're going to package all of that up in a book, and that will be available for sale to everybody. Supporters of a certain level, I haven't figured out yet, your guys are going to get a free copy if you want that printed book. And I will sign those as well. So patreon.com/TOMM if you'd like to join and support the channel over there. And with that, we're going to jump on over to business news. So first up in business news, we have Google now has a new subscription service, $30 per month for Duet, an AI that will craft you awkward emails and images for you. It is Google's new kitchen sink AI. Branding is everything to everyone in every workspace app. So I guess if you'd like a crappy digital assistant for $30 a month, that will probably take over your life after a while, here you have it. They announced the launch of its Duet AI assistant across workspace apps, including Docs, Gmail, Drive, Slides, and more. First announced in May at Google I/O. Duet has been testing for some time, but now available to paid Google Workspace business users for $30 a month in addition to the regular workspace fee. So you're going to be paying roughly $50 minimum or something. I think maybe $40 minimum. I think the first first tier, I think, is about $10 a month for Google Business. I can't remember. It's just one thing. Instead, it's a blanket brand name for a number of different capabilities. It should have been called Google's Kitchen Sink, like its representative, several distinct AIs behind the scenes. So it's going to draft you emails. It'll even, if you're on like Google Meet, it's going to give you suggestions about how to better set up your lighting system so people can see you better. Like, don't put on that lamp right behind you and have no webcam or no light source in front of you. Unless, of course, you're going to be like talking like this, and you're going to be kind of like talking like you're in the witness protection program. It was so tragic what he did to me, I'm telling you. Of course, I should say that turning off all my lights, but I can't easily do that with a flip of a switch. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should put a little switch flip on these guys so I don't have to keep on all my lights. I don't know. But anyway, if you are looking to burn an extra $30 a month, you can go ahead and jump in AI stuff. AI everywhere, privacy nowhere. There you go. So, of course, it is going to be collecting data and things that you're using it to better improve our product. Translation, spy on you more, but whatever. So, needless to say, I'm not a customer, but hey, you guys might be. As long as you're not a customer to Google Pixel Pass. We did talk about this. It must have been roughly 22 months ago when they first announced this. So Pixel Pass was supposed to be the amazing subscription plan. You pay $45 a month, you get your Pixel phone, and then for $45 a month, flat fee, you are going to, every 2 years, you get a free upgrade on your Google phone. Okay, and so basically every 2 years you get a brand new phone, but it also actually came with discounts on Google Fiber. It came with some other services like I think maybe like the YouTube Music Premium, 200 gigabytes of Google OneDrive space. All this kind of stuff was wrapped inside of this one service, and I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. This has got to be over $1,000, right? So, and it's for basically every 24 months. So you're paying $1,080 every 24 months, and you'll get a phone every 2 years. That's good. An upgraded phone every 2 years. Now, it does come with that extra storage space, which could pay for itself if you're using such things. But they did decide that they're going to go ahead and take Pixel Pass out behind the barn and put something like a 9 in it, and then, bury it back there with the rest of the stuff that they have bought and killed or otherwise just formed and killed or gave birth to and slaughtered. And basically, Google's behind the barn as a giant abortion. So, so if you are paying for Google Pixel Pass, you'll have to come up with other solutions and ways to afford your phones. I'm not sure why you might, but there you have it. You can now buy with Amazon Prime on Shopify. I'm kind of seeing this as a way, like Amazon's not going to do this out of the kindness of their heart. Obviously, they're going to get a little bit of the processing fees from Shopify. So, if 1 million people start doing this, Amazon will rack up some extra income in the terms of processing fees for utilizing their payment system type stuff. But it's like, I'm having a difficult time wrapping my head around it all. Like, why? So they've announced that its Buy with Prime feature already enables e-commerce websites to sell goods via Amazon Prime Network. Here's what I think might be going on. Remember that Amazon, they liked getting people to use their shipping services. So you would have a product and you're selling it on Amazon. Well, they were upselling you. You ship it to Amazon, and then they're going to do all of the Amazon, the order fulfillment for you. Well, I actually had clients that used that at some point in time, and then they had to pull all their stuff off of Amazon because Amazon then copied effectively the same line they were doing, hired some third world children somewhere in Indonesia or something, undercut their costs by 50-60% and started selling effectively the same stuff. Okay, I have a client that actually happened with. On the particular brand of line. This is what they do. Amazon has been caught a lot doing this type of stuff. This to me almost looks like it's Amazon's way of seeing when you're not buying something on their platform. It almost looks to me like it's a way of Amazon using this to see what types of things people are going off of their platform to buy so that they might grasp a better, they might have a better understanding of what the market might be doing. That's what I think is probably going on here behind the scenes. Although on the front, it's just like, oh, you can just hit the payment here. You don't have to enter your credit card information. It just processes the payment through your Amazon account, which of course how your credit card information is tied in over there. So it's basically just another way to pay on a Shopify site. But at the same time, when it's doing this, Amazon is getting, obviously, to see what people are buying. It's going to put them in a better idea to know what are people buying that's not on their platform. I think this is going to hurt Shopify in the long run, but Shopify is like, oh, you know, we don't know. Of course, they might just be big enough to not care. So that's my thought. Let me know. Do you think my analysis is right? Let me know in the comments there. Microsoft is pulling Visual Studio for the Mac. So if you are a developer using Visual Studio and you like to use your Mac products, sorry, Microsoft is now adding to the thing behind the barn. I wonder, does Microsoft and Google have the same barn that they go out? I know Microsoft uses that embrace, extend, extinguish model, and Google kind of does the same thing. Does Google and Microsoft share the same barn? Do they have the same tech graveyard back there? I don't know. So basically, after 12 months, your Visual Studio IDE, which has been available to Mac customers since 2016, will no longer be available on the Mac. So you will get, you'll be able to get it for 12 months of security updates on version 17.6. After that, it's going to lose support altogether. So if you need to continue using that, their suggestion is, hey, spin up a Windows instance in a virtual machine in your Mac. Or Microsoft could, you know, make it available for the Mac, or you could just, you know, switch to Windows. So is this yet another ploy for Microsoft to get people to switch to Windows? Well, it would seem, whether directly or indirectly, that would probably seem like it might be the case. And on to our last story in business. NHTSA raises more concerns about Tesla's autopilot. So what their primary concern is that they believe that and have evidence that the Tesla's full self-driving, which is not supposed to be full self-driving, but that's how they're branding it, and there's a prominence of itself. It's supposed to stop working if the drivers take their hand off the wheel, but apparently it doesn't. So they are requesting more information from Tesla regarding the safety of autopilot. It's autopilot is the name. It's full self-driving. That's not correct. Full self-driving is supposed to be full self-driving, but autopilot sounds like it should be full self-driving, but it's really not, you know. Special order dated July 26, regulators shared concerns about a change to Tesla's advanced driver system, allowing drivers to use the system for extended periods of time without prompting the driver to place their hands on the wheel. Come on, NHTSA. How are you supposed to be playing video games on that cute little center console if they have to have their hands on the wheel? The car can handle the drive. Come on, let it go. He needs to take a nap. Have you seen those guys of the Teslas driving by and the guys are leaning back and their feet are hanging out the driver's window? Come on! The autopilot can take this. We can handle the interstate driving. Come on! All right, so they ordered Tesla to answer questions and produce documents, according to the letter released on Tuesday. The special order is part of their ongoing investigation into autopilot after identifying more than a dozen crashes in which Tesla vehicles hit parked emergency vehicles. That's just because Tesla loves ramming into things with stripes on the back. They love ramming into emergency vehicles because they usually have stripes in the back, and they love hitting those divider medians. It's like, it must just be like that's probably what they were using to calibrate some things, and they forgot to remove the code. And so the thing's like, oh, that's a target. You know, that's probably what happened. We're going to find out. So some diversity hire forgot to comment that out in the code, you know. This is the first time DHTSA has requested information about Tesla's driving monitoring systems, which are meant to ensure drivers are paying attention to the road while automated driving systems are engaged. August 2022, the agency asked Tesla to answer questions about its cabin camera as part of an ongoing probe into 830,000 Teslas that include autopilot. Tesla says the camera is built with DMS that can determine if a driver isn't paying attention and send them noise alerts. Yeah, I do not want any car with a camera facing me that goes back. No. Tesla previously relied on the system that could detect when a driver's hands were on the steering wheel, but introduced the camera-based system instead. So, you know, you could rig that up. Now people will be going around. People will literally have like fake hands in their car, so they can just put the fake hand on the wheel and be like, yeah, we're gonna kick back. So you're kicking back like this, you drive over and there's a fake hand with this laying on the wheel, and the camera's completely confused. The camera's like, oh, his hand's on the wheel, look at that. So Tesla's getting investigated again. Maybe this is just because they're sick of X, and and Elon turned on them. I don't know what they're doing, but whatever the case happens to be, they're up for that. Well, we do use affiliates, and today we're highlighting DigitalOcean. I'm using DigitalOcean right now to test up some servers for the new web project where we're going to be able to move stuff out a little bit quicker. So we're running a new system called VirtualMin over there, which looks to be a decent replacement for cPanel. I have a little bit more testing to go, but I'm testing all that out on DigitalOcean. Of course, you can set VPNs, Jellyfin servers, all sorts of other fun stuff up there as well. Using the affiliate code there, tlm.li/DOH is going to get you $200 credit, good for 60 days. You can use that to spin up some stuff. And so with that, you can go ahead and test out DigitalOcean for any type of cloud-based stuff that you might need to use. And with that, guys, let's head on over to SillyVille, your favorite place and mine. First up, a Florida arsonist is really bad at his job. He tries to burn down a church, but ends up setting himself on fire instead. Okay, we got 35-second video here. And, I hate these churches. These pieces just kind of suck. I'm going to pour this little flammable stuff all over the place. I'm going to bring this place down. I'm an idiot. Look at this. I saw some fun stuff over here. Let's see. Where are my matches? Oh, I got the matches? I don't know. Let's see. Let's pour some more liquids. Oh no, I'm on fire. Oh, no, run. I'm on fire. No. Oh, my God, I'm on fire. Oh. What an idiot. All right, so there you have. I guess old Solomon really knew what he was talking about when he wrote, whoever digs the pit will fall into it and the stone will come back on him who starts rolling it. There you go. So there you go. There's our fun non-tech related one. A bunch of idiots. The rest of the stuff, yeah, we're gonna get some good stuff going in here. All right. So this one was a good one. This one could have been under security, but it was just the title of everything going on here is just absolutely pure gold. So it had to be under SillyVille. So the FBI had Operation Duckhunt to dismantle the Qakbot botnet. The details of the story are a lot less funny. Basically, there's a botnet going around doing some things. Well, the botnet was called Qakbot. So, of course, the FBI is like, hey, I got a great idea. Duckhunt. You guys ever played Duckhunt with that little gun thing? You shoot at the TV. Look at that. Duckhunt. So now we actually have Operation Duckhunt to dismantle the Qakbot. Way to go, feds. Way to go. And of course, if you've ever been to McDonald's and had that tragedy at the ice cream machine was broken down, now iFixit tears down a McDonald's ice cream machine and demands a DMCA exception for it. Public knowledge and iFixit want the right to repair commercial kitchen gear. So the ice cream machines at McDonald's are actually DRM'd, and you are not allowed to repair them anything other than the company that manufactures them. And so basically, these things break down, and McDonald's is like, dude, we don't have time for it. We don't have money for it. Whereas if it's something simple that could be handled by any local Joe the plumber that's with an office in town, he could come in and just fix it, then, hey, McDonald's could be up more profitable. I could go into McDonald's being confident I can go into McDonald's to get some ice cream, because I am sick of going into McDonald's and finding their ice cream machine is broken. So here iFixit tears down the McDonald's ice cream machine and demands a DMCA exemption for it. So self-serve ice cream machines are regularly broken down. It's not just your perception. When repair vendor and advocate iFixit was filming a video about the topic, it checked tracking map Mick broken. There's actually a map for this. How wonderful. If I can actually get my mouse to work. There you go. They found 34% of the machines in the state of New York are reported as inoperable. As I write this, nationwide number of broken machines is just above 14%. To improve the nation's semi-frozen milk fat infrastructure, iFixit has done two things. Now, first, before we get into this, if you follow the band news, you know that New York City is just on target for that goal of 0 dairy by 2030. Yeah, you have to watch the band news last week for that one. But moving on to this. One first reported media by 404 Media is to join with interest group Public Knowledge to petition the Copyright Office for exemption, allowing people to fix commercial equipment such as McDonald's ice cream machines. Okay, I'm going to say right here, an ice cream machine does not need DRM. Okay, the fact that an ice cream machine has DRM preventing people from fixing it because of the DMCA just tells me let's just nuke the DMCA and rebuild it from the ground up on some reasonable sense of common decency that figures out how to respect copyright without, preventing a repairman from fixing an ice cream machine. I want my McFlurry, damn it. Sorry, I don't like using language like that, but I get passionate about lacking my ice cream. All right. Let's see. Such as McDonald's ice cream machines and other industrial equipment without fear of reprisal under Section 1201 of the DMCA. The other is to obtain one of Taylor ice cream machines used by McDonald's franchise, tear it down, and marvel at how it could be so unreliable. So you can actually get the whole video over here. iFixit has it. So again, you can head on over to the website, SwitchedToLinux.com. You can find the article for this news section, and all of the links will be clicked down. So you can go ahead and see about their breakdown. Here is actually the map, apparently. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, that's down in Dallas. Let's see, I'm over here in Ohio area. Okay, so I'm kind of on this 271-71 corridor. Okay, I am not going to this McDonald's tomorrow. This McDonald's right here, not too far from where I'm currently recording this live stream at from a Walmart parking lot, I got to say is broken. I will not be going to this McDonald's. McDonald's, get that fixed. Look at all those sad red dots. Let's see, any of them in State College? All right, looks like the State College ice cream machines are. Yep, these are the McDonald's. These are confirmedly the McDonald's. I'm not sure what this gray is. Inconclusive. Okay. Yep, I know right where that one is. That's in Hills Plaza. Yep, that's Hills Plaza. There you go. There's a Hills Plaza. That one's questionable. Look at those red dots. This is sad. How many broken ice cream machines are on? But there we have it. iFixit tearing down the ice cream machines, risking a lawsuit for the DMCA 1201 for repairing a ice cream machine that has DRM in it, apparently. Well, the tech billionaires are looking at the needle and poo infested San Francisco and going, all this place has become. All right. They're looking around and going, man, it's like, it's not even safe for us CEOs to walk outside anymore. I can't go across the street to the broken ice cream machine at McDonald's and possibly get some ice cream from this. So they've pulled together some money and paid $800 million to build a new city near San Francisco to get out of there. They've literally, these rich parasites. They have literally destroyed a city, decimated it into a bunch of nonsense, complete and utter nonsense. They've utterly done that. And then let's just abandon it to its own, like, zombie corpse, poo, drug needle land. Let's go ahead and start afresh over here. Okay, this is why we're trying to colonize the moon, to get off for the planet. I don't know. So this is like a secret place. Company spent $15,000 per square acre. Court documents showed Silicon Valley's long sought to build a new city from scratch. I wonder if it'll be a smart city. That'll be funny. A mystery company backed by Silicon Valley billionaires have been snatching up land in Northern California County, an apparent bid to build an entirely new city in the state. New York Times reported those investors include some of the Valley's most recognizable names, from Mark Anderson to Lauren Powell Jobs. The company, Flannery Associates, has spent $800 million to purchase thousands of acres of farmland in Solano County, which sits northeast of San Francisco. Court documents obtained by Insider show. Wall Street Journal reported that Flannery has purchased 52,000 acres of farmland around Travis Air Force Base since 2018. And according to a report, the government officials began investigating the purchases due to concern that foreign interests may be behind the company. So here's San Francisco, and here is the Travis Air Force Base. So they've been buying up land up here. All right, so the entire base is encircled now. Catherine Moy, mayor to Fairfield, told them. So there's no part that isn't touched by Flannery. Little is known about Flannery Associates or its specific city plans, according to the Times. The company is led by Jan Stramick, a 36-year-old former Goldman Sachs trader. Flannery backers include Anderson Powell Jobs, Michael Morez of Sequoia Capital, LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, and others, according to the report. It's unclear how much they each invested in the company. So here is the potential set of the mystery cities. So they're like, we got to get away from San Francisco. We've turned this completely into a hellhole with our insanity, our policies, and driving up the costs, sending homelessness through the roof. So let's just go ahead and do it over here now. We're just going to leave a trail of dead bodies and decimated cities behind us. It's, what else are you going to do? So there you have it. The Silicon Valley billionaires have destroyed another one. So let me know what you think about that. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a locals page. SwitchedToLinux.locals.com is what it is. SwitchedToLinux.locals.com. Once again, we were talking about the science fiction short stories. They are available also on the locals as well. Again, you can go on over there. You can read it. You can grab the audiobook download. And the next story will be up approximately the 15th of the month. And the next story, you do not want to miss it. It's right about 4,000 or so words, and it is excellent short story. We'll have the audiobook up for that right about the time we put that up. And the audiobook for the previous one, Cars Have Eyes, that is still available until September 15th. So log into whichever supporter platform you are on, and you can download a copy of that audiobook. So with that, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you for watching this video from Switched2Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.